What's up, everybody? I'm Harold.
And I'm Rivers.
And today I'm talking about
education.
So, Rivers, what it's like to be educated before college in America?
Well, if you look at me, it's terrible. Okay, I'm just joking, but anyways, so the general outline of basic education in the U.S. is you have kindergarten through 5th grade, which is elementary school. You have middle school, which is 6th through 8th grade. And you have high school, which is 9th through 12th grade.
Wow, that just blows my mind. Actually, I did not. But there is something that's really interesting. I think that's the difference. That in China, the kindergarten did not count into a primary school.
Right.
And it starts from most kids, is 3 years old to 6 years old. And the primary school is start from 1st grade to 6th grade. So that's 6 years. And for the middle school, it's from 7th grade to 9th grade. And then for high school, if you can't continue, it will be 10th grade to 12th. So it's definitely, there are a lot of difference.
Okay, wait. So I have a question. Why is kindergarten and primary school divided in half compared to the primary school and elementary school in the USA?
Yeah, that's actually, if I refer that question, I could just turn it back into for me, I kind of don't understand why. Kindergarten would be connected with the primary school together into the same primary school period of time, right? Because to us, I don't know whether this word translation is kindergarten means something, the kids cannot go to the primary school, not mean that they're stupid something, they're not old enough, so not like a special school. Anyway, so it's just something, so they need to be taken care of. Their parents want to go to work, so they are 3 years, they just went to the kindergarten, learn some stuff, which is not as important. If you go to the primary school, it means you go to standard competition, I would say, Chinese competition of studying. But kindergarten, okay, the Chinese parents say, okay, you can chill. But the primary school, a very, very important dividing point. Okay, now you gotta study. My mom training my little brother. Okay, now you gotta study. You need to prepare for your examination to get to college, stuff like that. Yeah.
Wait, so let me just get this straight. So the kindergarten in China is just kind of daycare.
Yeah, I would say you can even just don't go there if you don't want it. Yeah.
And then primary school is the official start of real education.
Yeah. How about America? Why is that?
Well, we have 1 year of kindergarten, which is before 1st grade, and I'm not sure why it goes kindergarten, 1st grade. I don't really understand the concept or the word of kindergarten, or why it's connected with elementary school. What I think is that maybe because maybe making grade 0 didn't make sense. I'm going to grade 0. Maybe it's just for that kind of dumb reason. I'm not sure. Or maybe previously in history, kindergarten was just kind of an optional, just first step to introduce your kids to education, to just get them used to it. The basic principles of school, and it was optional. Maybe not serious. But then 1st grade. It's okay, that's when it starts. But comparing your kindergarten it's kind of optional, just daycare. It's not really the official school. But in the US, before kindergarten, we have daycare, which is basically just babysitting for the parents when they're out working or doing whatever they want. It's optional.
So to me, it sounds like kindergarten first. Nowadays, let's forget about the historical thing. Nowadays, it is it's contemporary.
Right.
It's not optional anymore. For China, kindergarten is not part of the we would say 12 years of contemporary education. That's not 12, maybe 9 years or something. That's if the parents don't send their kids to the primary school, it's illegal. Of course, I think that's the case in America, right? But kindergarten, no. But your kindergarten, yes. Your parents doesn't send you to kindergarten, that's illegal. That's one observation. That's
Really? It's illegal?
For you guys? Because you come to kindergarten to the primary school, right? You cannot... Or there's a house school, right? The other way. But
it's homeschooling, of course.
Homeschool. So
illegal... I'm not sure if that's the right term, but kindergarten is part of the official elementary school. So
I got you. Yeah. It's kind of what I mean, but the
right.
But my thing is it just shows me what I feel about the Americans. Remember, I have a year of training in American college, right? It just feel you guys educational system, it takes a lot of importance on the concept of, you need to take care of yourself or take care of the kids. Like the kindergarten is something that you need to get yourself prepared for the primary school. For us, it's just first grade from the very beginning. There's nothing to prepare you for. Kindergarten has nothing to do with it. You can fly. Nobody you enter the first grade, and then you start competing and stuff like that.
Actually, I have another important aspect to discuss. So, in the USA, elementary school and middle school, for the most part, the student's performance doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Only high school matters because that's when you are applying for college, and the colleges don't look at your middle school performance or elementary school performance. It's only high school.
That arose another question, because if you want to go to the high school, like a good high school or like a selected high school, how do you?
Well, okay, so that's another question. There are many public high schools which it doesn't really matter. As long as it's in your district where you live, you can go. But there are select high schools where you have to apply, and you have to meet certain criteria. So in that case, yes, your
middle school
or elementary school.
Even elementary school,
Well, if you're applying to a special middle school, because actually there are many good middle school and high schools combined together. So your elementary school performance matters if you're applying to that kind of school.
So there's a lot of variation, from my opinion. It just so customized for different kids, for
right.
different package.
Yes, there's a lot of options.
Yeah. So for your question, my answer would be, why they would care. First is a kind of a culture thing. I would say all this American people's perspective with Chinese parents, right? So we want the children to be winning on the starting point. We want you to be good from the very beginning. So that in that way you can just accumulate your advantage and you can just beat all other kids. Right. That's first. And the second would be like I said. So the high school in China, if you want to get, there's a great difference of the public school and private school in China. There is, but mostly, I think public school in China, especially, also I would say even college, the public school just dominate the market. You could say that is the culture thing or the social thing. So in that sense, there's not that kind of thing you can go to a public school so easily, right? For the high school in China, we have to win through the middle school test. It's because before the Gaokao, the college entrance examination, there's even another one. And there is a thing, I think it's a little bit pathetic, but it's a fact, so I'm going to say it. Only 50% of the students going to pass that middle school line and then get to high school. So the other 50% of the kids going to go to, how do I put it? So they go to not high school. So they are not going to go to college. So they just, they already be determined at that point.
50%?
That's a rough number. But that's my point, my time. So that's a 50% if you don't perform well enough. Above the 50% of other people.
So you're telling me that a kid's performance in middle school can dictate their
high school entrance,
or just their rest of their life.
If you think, I would say yeah.
Can they retake that exam in middle school?
Wow, I think the answer would be no. There's only one chance. So if they fail that, they just cannot even. They could. That's not the normal thing, because for high school enter the college, they can retake it. That's I can 100% for sure. But for middle school, there could be that policy, but more strictly speaking, no. So the answer would be no. Of course, you can figure it out by some way, but the point is, that's kind of. So it's kind of determining their life. They can just not go to high school. They go to kind of equivalent of another kind of high school, or maybe they can just go to work. But the point is, they can do some other. My information definitely not guaranteed so updated, but at least for my time, when I was that time, so that's the case. So that kind of answer your question. That's just not how it works. So the middle school does really matter. For primary school, for my little brother nowadays, I feel like this is kind of a trend in Chinese society that it becomes more and more competitive. So when I was in primary school, I remember it still matters, the grade. Like, of course, in the final exam, you don't want to get a 0 or fail. But still, like, it's not that kind of competitive. But nowadays, people just start really, really early on pushing their kids to get really good at their work. So that kind of fit the stereotype of whole American, like, Asian parents.
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense from my experience in even starting in elementary school. The kids who are of Asian descent, they always performed really well. Like, they did not like slack off. They were very into their studies. But you know what's funny is that some of those Asian kids become Americanized, and then you can kind of see how they start like slacking off, and they just start, you know, not. They're kind of going away from their roots. And that's a kind of funny observation, but.